The destruction of the Death Star was a pivotal moment in the galaxy's history, a decisive strike against the tyranny of the Galactic Empire. But what if, in that moment of self-sacrifice, Obi-Wan Kenobi chose another path? What if, instead of allowing Darth Vader to strike him down, he survived the encounter and continued to guide Luke Skywalker? This alternate timeline would profoundly alter the trajectory of the rebellion, the fate of the Skywalker family, and the balance of the Force itself. In this scenario, Obi-Wan Kenobi senses the potential for a greater purpose beyond martyrdom. As Darth Vader's blade closes in, Obi-Wan feints, narrowly avoiding the blow. In the ensuing chaos, he escapes the Death Star alongside Luke, Han Solo, Leia Organa, and the ever-reliable Chewbacca. The group returns to the Rebel base, with Obi-Wan carrying not just the wisdom of his Jedi lineage, but also a renewed sense of responsibility for Luke's training. Luke's growth as a Jedi begins almost immediately after their escape. Under Obi-Wan's mentorship, he learns the foundational tenets of the Jedi Code, lightsaber combat, and most crucially, the Force itself. Unlike the fragmented and rushed training he receives in the original timeline, this version of events allows Luke to grow steadily and with purpose. Obi-Wan, having learned from the mistakes of the Jedi Order and his own failures with Anakin, adopts a more balanced and empathetic approach. He encourages Luke to explore his emotions without succumbing to them, emphasizing control over repression. The bond between Luke and Obi-Wan deepens as they travel together, often taking on covert missions for the rebellion. During these missions, Luke encounters the harsh realities of war, testing his resolve and commitment to the Jedi ideals. Obi-Wan ensures that Luke remains grounded, reminding him that their fight is not for vengeance but for peace and justice. With each lesson, Luke's connection to the Force strengthens, and his skills with a lightsaber become more refined. He begins to embody the best qualities of both his father and his mentors, blending the raw power of Anakin with the discipline and wisdom of Obi-Wan. This extended training has immediate benefits for the Rebel Alliance. Luke's growing abilities make him a formidable asset, capable of leading daring missions and inspiring others with his courage and determination. His presence bolsters morale among the rebels, and his victories in battle begin to shift the tide of the war. Meanwhile, Obi-Wan works behind the scenes, using his knowledge of the Jedi and the Sith to outmaneuver the Empire's forces. He provides strategic insights that give the rebels an edge, and his mastery of the Force enables him to uncover hidden truths and predict the Empire's moves. The relationship between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader takes on new dimensions in this timeline. Vader, sensing Obi-Wan's survival, becomes obsessed with tracking him down. Their encounters are fraught with tension, as Vader's hatred for his former master clashes with the remnants of Anakin Skywalker buried deep within him. Obi-Wan, in turn, is haunted by his failure to save Anakin and the knowledge that their fates remain intertwined. These confrontations serve as a reminder of the stakes involved and the personal cost of their conflict. As Luke's training progresses, Obi-Wan introduces him to the broader history of the Jedi and the Sith. They travel to ancient sites, such as the ruins of Jedi temples and the tombs of Sith lords, where Luke gains a deeper understanding of the Force and the galaxy's long struggle between light and dark. On one such journey, they visit Coruscant, slipping into the shadows of the Empire's capital to uncover vital information for the rebellion. This mission serves as a test of Luke's resolve, as he faces the overwhelming presence of the dark side in the heart of the Empire's power. Through these experiences, Luke begins to grasp the complexity of the Force and the moral ambiguities of their fight. Obi-Wan emphasizes the importance of balance, warning Luke against the extremes of both the light and dark sides. This nuanced approach prepares Luke to face the challenges ahead with wisdom and clarity, setting him apart from the Jedi of the past. The influence of Obi-Wan's survival also extends to Leia Organa. Recognizing her latent Force sensitivity, Obi-Wan begins to subtly guide her as well. He teaches her meditation techniques and basic Force principles, helping her to harness her natural abilities without disrupting her responsibilities as a leader of the rebellion. Leia's growing connection to the Force enhances her already formidable skills in diplomacy and strategy, making her an even more effective leader. As the Rebel Alliance gains momentum, the Emperor becomes increasingly aware of the threat posed by Luke and Obi-Wan. Palpatine sees an opportunity to exploit the situation, devising a plan to turn Luke to the dark side and eliminate Obi-Wan once and for all. He manipulates events to draw them into a confrontation, using Vader as his instrument. This leads to a climactic battle that forces Luke to confront not only Vader but also the darkness within himself. In this confrontation, Obi-Wan plays a crucial role. He acts as both a mentor and a protector, guiding Luke through the emotional turmoil of facing his father while fending off Palpatine's attempts to corrupt him. The battle is as much a test of their bond as it is a fight against the Empire. Obi-Wan's wisdom and experience prove invaluable, helping Luke to resist the temptations of the dark side and stay true to the Jedi path. The ultimate resolution of this timeline hinges on Luke's growth as a Jedi and his ability to reconcile the duality within himself. Obi-Wan's influence ensures that Luke approaches his destiny with the maturity and insight needed to succeed where others have failed. Together, they embody the principles of the Jedi in a way that transcends the flaws of the old order, offering a new hope for the galaxy. As the war intensifies and the stakes grow higher, Obi-Wan realizes that his own guidance, though invaluable, may not be enough to fully prepare Luke for the trials ahead. The galaxy is vast, and the power of the Sith is overwhelming. To truly unlock Luke's potential, Obi-Wan decides to take him to an old friend and one of the last surviving Jedi Masters, Yoda. The journey to Dagobah is fraught with peril, as the Empire's forces tighten their grip on the galaxy. Using his deep understanding of the Force, Obi-Wan manages to keep their ship hidden from Imperial detection. Luke, still grappling with the enormity of his destiny, questions why they must seek out Yoda. Obi-Wan explains that Yoda's knowledge of the Force surpasses even his own, and that the ancient Jedi Master will challenge Luke in ways he cannot. It is a humbling admission for Obi-Wan, but one that underscores his commitment to ensuring Luke's success. When they arrive on Dagobah, the reunion between Obi-Wan and Yoda is both bittersweet and profound. The weight of the Jedi Order's fall hangs heavily on both of them, yet their shared hope for Luke's potential rekindles a spark of optimism. Yoda, at first skeptical of Luke's readiness, agrees to train him after witnessing the determination in his eyes and sensing the raw Force power within him. However, Yoda also recognizes the danger of Luke's emotional ties and the shadow of his father's legacy. Training under Yoda is an entirely new experience for Luke. Unlike Obi-Wan, who teaches with a blend of compassion and structure, Yoda adopts a more enigmatic and unorthodox approach. The ancient Jedi Master pushes Luke to confront his fears and insecurities, often through cryptic lessons and grueling physical challenges. Yoda's teachings emphasize the interconnectedness of all living things and the importance of inner balance. He warns Luke repeatedly about the seductive allure of the dark side, using the mistakes of the past as cautionary tales. Obi-Wan remains on Dagobah during this period, providing additional guidance and support when needed. While Yoda focuses on the deeper mysteries of the Force, Obi-Wan continues to refine Luke's lightsaber techniques and combat strategies. Together, they offer Luke a comprehensive education in what it means to be a Jedi, blending the wisdom of two generations with the hopes of a new one. As Luke progresses in his training, he begins to experience powerful visions through the Force. These visions often involve his father, Darth Vader, as well as glimpses of the Emperor and the suffering of the galaxy under the Empire's rule. Yoda and Obi-Wan caution him against placing too much trust in these visions, reminding him that the future is always in motion. However, one vision stands out above the rest: a confrontation with Vader that feels both inevitable and deeply personal. Luke shares this with his mentors, and while they acknowledge its significance, they urge him to focus on the present. During this time, Yoda and Obi-Wan have private conversations about Luke's training and the possibility of confronting Vader. Yoda expresses concern that Luke, despite his progress, may still be vulnerable to the dark side. Obi-Wan, however, sees a spark of hope in Luke that he believes could redeem even the darkest soul. The two Jedi Masters debate the merits of revealing the truth about Vader's identity to Luke. Ultimately, they agree that Luke must be told, but only when he is ready to face the emotional and spiritual challenges that come with it. The turning point comes when the rebellion calls for their aid. Imperial forces have launched a massive campaign to crush the Rebel Alliance, and Leia sends a desperate message for help. Luke, now significantly stronger and more disciplined, insists on leaving Dagobah to join the fight. Yoda warns him that his training is not yet complete, but Luke argues that the galaxy cannot wait. Obi-Wan, understanding the urgency of the situation, supports Luke's decision but promises Yoda that they will return once the immediate crisis is over. Before departing, Yoda pulls Luke aside for one final lesson. He urges Luke to remember the importance of patience and to trust in the Force above all else. Yoda's parting words carry a weight that lingers with Luke as they leave Dagobah. Rejoining the rebellion, Luke is greeted as a hero. His skills as a Jedi are evident in the way he commands respect and inspires hope among the rebel forces. Obi-Wan, meanwhile, works closely with Leia and the other leaders to plan their next moves. The reunion is short-lived, however, as news arrives that the Emperor himself has taken an interest in the rebel alliance. Palpatine, sensing the growing threat of Luke and Obi-Wan, devises a trap to lure them into his grasp. The trap is set on Coruscant itself, where the Emperor baits them with intelligence, suggesting a critical weakness in the Empire's defenses. Despite the obvious danger, the rebels cannot ignore the opportunity, and Luke, Obi-Wan, and Leia volunteer for the mission. Their infiltration of Coruscant is a harrowing experience, filled with danger and the pervasive presence of the dark side. The city planet, now a symbol of Imperial dominance, radiates fear and oppression. It is during this mission that Luke finally learns the truth about Darth Vader. In a moment of quiet reflection, Obi-Wan reveals that Vader is his father, Anakin Skywalker, the Jedi Knight who fell to the dark side and became a Sith Lord. The revelation shakes Luke to his core, forcing him to confront the legacy he carries. Obi-Wan admits his own failure in preventing Anakin's fall and expresses his hope that Luke might succeed where he did not. Though deeply conflicted, Luke resolves to face Vader, not out of anger or vengeance, but out of a desire to understand and, if possible, redeem him. The inevitable confrontation between Luke, Obi-Wan, and Vader unfolds in the shadow of the Emperor's throne room. The battle is as much a clash of wills as it is of blades. Luke's growth as a Jedi is evident as he holds his own against Vader, even managing to appeal to the flicker of humanity still buried within him. Obi-Wan, meanwhile, confronts Palpatine directly, engaging the Emperor in a battle of wits and Force powers. The turning point comes when Luke, refusing to strike down his father, instead offers him a chance at redemption. This act of compassion and selflessness breaks through the barriers of Vader's anger and hatred, rekindling the spark of Anakin Skywalker. Vader turns on the Emperor, sacrificing himself to save Luke and destroy Palpatine. Obi-Wan witnesses this moment with a mixture of sorrow and relief, knowing that his former friend has finally found redemption. In the aftermath of the Emperor's death, the galaxy begins to heal. Luke emerges not just as a hero of the rebellion, but as a true Jedi Knight, embodying the ideals of the Order in a way that transcends the failures of the past. Obi-Wan, his mission complete, reflects on the journey that brought them here. Though the cost was great, he takes solace in knowing that the Jedi legacy will endure through Luke and Leia, who has also embraced her connection to the Force. The surviving rebels gather to celebrate their victory, knowing that the path ahead will still be fraught with challenges. Yet, with the guidance of Luke, Leia, and the wisdom of Obi-Wan and Yoda, the galaxy stands poised to rebuild on a foundation of hope and unity. The Force, at last, is balanced.